It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Tuesday, the 2nd of September. I'm Michael Groff. Showers and thunderstorms rolled into the valley last night, producing a lot of gusty winds and blowing dust for the second Monday in a row. And while some of you did pick up at least a little bit of rain, many of you just saw the wind, the dust, all the yuck that comes with those kinds of strong, gusty winds. What about rain chances and storm chances for today and the rest of the week? It looks like we're still on track for an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms through the rest of the week, and temperatures will be headed down. But one wild card that's in our forecast is the evolution of Tropical Depression 12E. That's off of the Mexican coast, and that might become Tropical Storm Lorena. Should it do that, how will it impact our weather, if at all? We'll talk about that and so much more as we dive on in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroufinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroufinggroup.com. All right, let's get into it with the almanac from yesterday. 107 degrees was the afternoon high. 88 was that low temperature. A trace of rain officially in the bucket at Sky Harbor. 104 and 82 are the averages for this time of year. And as we take a look outside right now, just after 6 a.m., here comes the sun. And we're sitting at 89 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point's 59, humidity 37%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. We put this in motion. You can kind of see what's been going on over the last 18 hours or so. And we've got the monsoon flow still in effect here with high pressure to the north of us. East-southeasterly winds continue. And we have a little spin in the clouds just south of us. There's a little MCV, a little mesoscale convective vortex, a little disturbance that's coming up toward southern Arizona, southwest Arizona, and into southeast California. And that will be the focus for showers and thunderstorms today. We could see some locally heavy rain in some of those areas. Storms might fire up to the east of us today, but what about our chances here? Well, we'll see how it all plays out, but the atmosphere is a little bit worked over from last night, but we could still see a few storms around here. And way down at the bottom of your screen, you can kind of see some deeper convection there, and that is on the far, far northern side of Tropical Depression 12E. That is some deeper convection that's just getting going down there with a rather disorganized system at this time, but we're going to keep an eye on how that plays out. The watch warning map. We've got an air quality alert for Maricopa County through tonight. We've got heat advisories and extreme heat warnings out here in the west. Again, it's going to be hot. The valleys of California all the way up into the Pacific Northwest. Some spots will be flirting with the triple digits. Many other locations well up in the 90s. Certainly hot for any time of the year in those areas, but especially here in early September. And the convective outlook, we've got a marginal risk of severe storms, level 1 out of 5 over portions of South Dakota and Minnesota, Arizona. We are in the green. Thunderstorms possible, and while we don't anticipate any organized severe weather, any one storm during the monsoon can always become severe, much as we saw yesterday. Some of those wind gusts were over 60 miles per hour. That's what helped to produce that near zero visibility and blowing dust in some areas. And we'll do it again today, although it looks like the main focus for storms will shift a little further west as we go through the afternoon hours today and into tonight. All right, the tropics and the Atlantic Basin, we've got this wave off the African coast. The National Hurricane Center giving this a 60% probability of developing over the next 7 days. Where it goes, still nobody knows. It is way out there. We have a long time to watch this, but it's nothing unusual. It's been extremely quiet in the Atlantic Basin this season so far. We are nearing the climatological peak of hurricane season, so to finally see something on the board, well, that's something, I suppose. But we'll certainly have a long time to watch this, and who knows, with troughing setting up over the eastern half of the country, maybe this won't even be a factor. We'll see. In the Pacific, we've got two systems on the board. There is Tropical Depression number 12E, and we've got Hurricane Kiko. All right, let's talk about Kiko. All right, top wind 75 miles per hour, Category 1. This is expected to remain at hurricane strength, mainly staying south of 15 degrees north latitude for quite a while. It will start to get more of a northwesterly drift with time. Now, the question is, will this impact the Hawaiian Islands? Well, it's still too early to call. We're going to keep an eye on it, obviously. Shifting further east, this is Tropical Depression number 12E. The National Hurricane Center certainly expects this to become a tropical storm. When it does, it would get the name Lorena, and it'll move kind of parallel toward the Mexican coast and then eventually crossing the Baja and into the Gulf of California. And it looks like, at least on this official track from the National Hurricane Center, this would take the center of circulation mainly south of Arizona, southeast of us, or maybe clipping the southeastern corner of our state. But let's see what some of the modeling says on this. This is the tropical model set, the ATCF set. A number of different solutions. You got a couple that take it out to sea. You got a couple that just sort of wind it down and weaken it as it crosses the Baja and fizzles it out. And then a couple others that bring it over toward Texas, toward El Paso, and into southeast New Mexico. And a couple others take it up here toward south central Arizona, not far from Phoenix. That would obviously be the solution that produces the most significant precipitation for us if that were to occur. But I'd say at this point, that's a fairly low, non-zero, but a low probability of happening. Looking at the other models, the GFS ensemble, I mean, hardly any of the members take it north. Most of them take it out to sea. That's the ensemble mean. The European ensemble does the same thing. Some of the members don't even pick up on this at all. So, you know, it's still early. We'll have some time to watch this. But right now, my guess is that even if this does develop, it probably doesn't have a major influence on our weather, although some of its moisture will no doubt get injected into this southeasterly to southerly flow, and we'll at least see some enhancement in shower and thunderstorm activity at some point later this week. Although that in and of itself could be a complicating factor to the forecast, which we'll discuss here in just a second. Precipitation outlook valid through Tuesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix between about 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch of rain now. Numbers coming up. And right there along the international border, we could see in excess of 2, maybe 3 inches of rain down there. And a few spots across the state could certainly see up to 2 inches of rain as well. And as always, your amount will vary. Any one storm can produce more than what's shown here. What this represents is an average of what we'll see across the region. So, what is going on with this weather forecast, this situation? Let's figure it out to the best of our ability. To do that, we'll explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. All right, trough in the east, and it sure starts to feel a little bit more like fall in some spots. Certainly some below average temperatures have been around for the last week or two in the east. It's been delightful, but out here in the west, kind of that balance, right? We've got this big ridge, and that's what's giving us the heat wave over the Pacific Northwest and up into western Canada. And even here in the southwest, temperatures are above average. This ridge is to the north of us, more of an easterly to east-southeasterly flow in place aloft. So what it all means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, some clouds around today. We'll call it partly sunny. And high temperatures this afternoon will top out around 104 to 108 degrees, and that is several degrees above where we ought to be for this time of year. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop over eastern and southeast Arizona. They'll make their way toward the valley. The better concentration of storms, especially this morning and into the early afternoon hours, will be concentrated to the west of us over far southwest Arizona and southern California. Riverside, Imperial, up towards San Bernardino, Inyo counties, maybe toward eastern Kern County. They could be seeing some heavy rain, and even they've got a flash flood watch in effect there from this morning, 11 a.m. this morning through tomorrow. So obviously that's the potential of some heavy rain exists there with this little upper level disturbance that's to the west of us. Now, south central Arizona, we might kind of be in that pinhole again, that donut hole. Some storms to the south of us, to the east of us. Let's try to see what the high resolution guidance has for us. This is the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh model at 5 o'clock this afternoon, the simulated radar product. And at that time, It's got some showers and storms to the south of Phoenix, a few well off to the east of us, a few well off to the north, kind of a concentration over the Mojave Desert and into Southern California, and some locally heavy rain. But here in the valley, I think if we're going to see storms kind of like yesterday, we're going to need those strong outflow boundaries. And we sure saw those yesterday. Could we get them today again? Yes, we could. But the chance of rain is still going to be pretty small. We're going to keep it in about the 20% bracket. It's going to be hard. The atmosphere isn't totally worked over from yesterday's storms, but I would say there's at least some contamination. Not to mention, it's going to take a while to get all the clouds out of here this morning. And the longer that takes, the less destabilization that occurs in the atmosphere to help to get these storms going today. So if we really want to get storm chances going, we need to get the clouds out of here as early as we possibly can, and that might help the atmosphere to turn over a bit better. Still, the atmospheric dynamics are not really great here. Moisture levels are marginal. Mixing ratios are marginal. The flow aloft is fairly light, so we're going to need some help from these outflow boundaries to get storms to develop in here. Otherwise, for tonight, widely scattered evening storms. Otherwise, will be partly cloudy, lows upper 70s to mid 80s. Tomorrow, it's kind of a similar forecast. We'll call it a mix of sun and clouds with widely scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures will be down a little bit. I'd say highs about 100 to 104 as our ridge that's to the north of us is starting to weaken. It's very slowly beginning to break down, but we still have that monsoon flow in effect. Thursday is looking more active. Now, this is where the forecast turns extremely complex. We have our tropical system to the south. How that develops is still an uncertainty and may play a big role in how conditions play out. In the GFS scenario, there is certainly a slug of tropical moisture that will make its way northward as the flow aloft is more south-southeasterly at that point. And that should set the stage for scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms to develop across the state, particularly in the afternoon and evening hours. And this would be a good setup for us to get some storms in here, especially, again, late Thursday and Thursday night. And yeah, we could see some locally heavy rain and temperatures would be coming down. And I think no matter how this plays out, temperatures are going to be headed down as high pressure is weakening to the north of us. And there's a trough off to the west. So highs would probably be somewhere in the upper 90s to about 102. But if this becomes a somewhat stronger tropical cyclone to the south of us, a stronger tropical storm, some of the high clouds, the high cloud shield from the north as it's kind of getting sheared off, may actually preclude maximizing instability, maximizing those thermodynamics. It may block some of the sun, some of that solar insulation from getting down to the surface and really heating the ground, heating the air. So that might be a complicating factor. The European and the European ensemble have this as a weaker system, and if that's the case, it might actually be the best thing for us because that moisture may be more in the form of just a slug of more low-level moisture to really help with showers and storms to develop. Either way, unsettled weather on Thursday and Friday as well. How it plays out Friday is unknown, though. Now, the GFS has the track of this, what would be Lorena, and then the weakening system to the south and east of us, maybe clipping the southeastern corner, maybe just staying south and east of Arizona and moving the majority of this moisture into New Mexico and West Texas. But we would see at least some moisture here for still a continuation of scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures on Friday will be down. Regardless of how the forecast plays out, again, it looks like highs will be only in the low to middle 90s with lots of clouds and somewhat unsettled conditions. Will that be in the form of just some light off and on showers? Will it be in the form of some stronger storms? We still don't know that. We'll get a better idea in coming model runs here. Let's keep it going. This is Saturday. We're still calling for at least a slight chance of showers, but I think we're going to really start to dry out on Saturday. Southwesterly flow is starting to take over as our ridge is weakening. It's shifting off to the south and east, and we have a stronger trough that's developing along the west coast and turning our flow southwesterly. Ultimately, it'll become westerly with time, but with the lack of high pressure and still moisture around, temperatures will still be below average, low to mid 90s even on Saturday. Here's Sunday, mid 90s to about 100 degrees. Drier conditions will take the chance of rain out of the forecast, maybe almost statewide. We could still see a few storms in the eastern mountains and the southeastern part of the state. Here we go to Monday. We're dry. High temperatures only somewhere in the upper 90s to about 101 degrees. Sure doesn't look like it's going to get all that warm all that quickly with the influence of troughing around. Now, a ridge is going to try and build in from the south, but our flow is going to be westerly, and so kind of almost like a zonal flow. So that's not going to really get us all that warm all that quick. A week from today, this is Tuesday, the 9th of September. Look at that trough to the west of us. That thing is moving into central and northern California and toward the Great Basin, southwesterly flow. That's the kind of thing we see in later September. That's sort of the monsoon killer, as we like to call those things, because that's once you get the westerlies shifting further south and displacing the ridge more consistently, we just can't get the monsoon moisture to come back in here. Is that going to be the case the rest of September? No way to know that yet, but it sure looks like it. And so temperatures would still not recover all that much. We'd probably be pretty close to seasonal averages, though. I'd say highs somewhere between about 98 to 104 here in the lower deserts. Here is Wednesday the 10th. And again, troughing to the north and west of us, southwesterly flow, ridging to the east. Temperatures close to seasonal averages, maybe a degree or two above average in some spots. End of the forecast period, Thursday the 11th of September. And again, weakening trough to the north and west of us over the Great Basin in the northwest, and we are still very dry. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix out through the 16th of September off the GFS ensemble. And the mean is about 3/4 of an inch. The European ensemble is less than that, about a half an inch. The European AI ensemble is the highest here. It's about an inch. Now, the problem is any one of these solutions are certainly possible. There's a huge model spread. You see some of these members are up over 3.5 inches. We've seen the spreads even as high as 5 inches of rain, ranging from 0 all the way to 5 inches of rain. I mean, that's a crazy, crazy model spread here, which depicts just the wide uncertainty in the evolution of our tropical depression to the south, and that would make all the difference. If by some miracle, the further westward progression of that tropical cyclone were to come to fruition and we'd see that center moving up into south central Arizona, that would spell some significant rainfall here. Temperatures off the national blend of models, yeah, the trend is down. We'll probably stay below 100 degrees, perhaps Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. And even next week, temperatures warm up a little bit. Highs getting back toward seasonal averages and maybe a degree or two above average. But you don't see the 110s on here. Are we done with 110 degrees? I know we ask that every day, and people want to know. And there's just no way to say for sure just yet. But we don't see any, at least on the horizon. So maybe that's it for those 110-degree days. And maybe that's even it for those 90-degree lows. How about that? That would be nice, too. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying these videos and want to support the channel, best way to do that, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. It's called a super thanks. That would really help us out. Or, of course, via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. And our Venmo is also linked up down below. All right, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Adriana related, and yes, now new and improved Kylie related. It's all linked up down below, so check all of that out. Our streaming station, that's available 24/7, 365, called KMGX. Give that a listen, again, linked up down below. And also, we want you to check out friend of the channel and big supporter of ours, Dan, over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. The Courtroom Files on YouTube or courtroomfiles.com for all of your Courtroom Files merch. And he's a great guy, great friend of the channel. And tonight at 8 p.m. East, 5 Pacific, you can see Dan Ashley, Big Time Bailey, and myself on Sidebar. It's our twice weekly panel show where we discuss LawTube, legal geek matters, and just have a great time. So do check that out tonight, 8 p.m. East, 5 Pacific, over on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel for Sidebar. Thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. Yes, we hit a milestone yesterday. I talked about how this channel has been growing, and we surpassed it yesterday, 2,000 subscribers, almost in time for the 9-year anniversary of this channel. And most of those, well, a good portion of those subscribers have come just in the last few months. And again, I thank so many of you for helping us out and for supporting this channel. It's been amazing. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves a delightful rest of your Tuesday.